Watching Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube, sightsoundsflavors.com, exploringkentucky.com. We're outside of St. Patrick's Church here in beautiful Mount Sterling, Kentucky. And if you're from the area here, by all means, let me know. And it's Saturday morning, February 11th, 2023, and gonna go over to the Montgomery Courthouse here, Montgomery County. Mount Sterling is the county seat, and I don't usually show homes, but when they're downtown, I really can't avoid it. So now here they've got 2-hour parking from 8 to 5 on this side of the street, but down this way past that red light there really isn't parking a lot on either side of the street. So you know, it's a interesting dynamic for parking. And Mount Sterling has got a pretty big downtown. There's the post office. I'll show you a little bit more closely here in a little bit. I'm liking these, I don't know if they're lofts or not, but they're, I also like, you know, you all know I love the little, like, that external thing there, whatever that is. I don't know what that's called, but we got Authentically You Aesthetics, Inner Peace Massage and Healing. Here is the post office. And it's interesting, if you look right above the door there, it says Presbyterian Post. So I'm not really 100% sure if it was a Presbyterian church and it became a post office or what. We got Beautifully Blushed LLC, and a lot of the business owners like when I shout out their businesses. And Christian church here. I really like this building also. Iglesia Cristiana. That's a beautiful church right there as well. There's the post office again. Also, check out exploringkentucky.com, the website, if you haven't done so already, and please join Exploring Kentucky Facebook group and Sight Sounds Flavors Facebook group. Speaking of the mailman and the mail, nice sign here. In 1866, a civil suit was filed in Anderson County by Farmers Bank against Lieutenant J.F. Witherspoon. The bank was awarded a judgment of $59,057.33 for damages. Huh. Interesting. Got another one of these little rooms here. Interesting looking door there. Got a gunsmith down there. So this is a pretty big downtown, if I may say so myself. Kind of get out of this glare from the sun. You can see a little bit more there. The building where the gunsmith is at, that's an old looking building right there. So you got your highway signs there. 60, 64, 11, 460. I'm digging this here on the sidewalk. Sort of like a compass there. And everything very orderly, very neat. As you can see, this wall here, not a lick of graffiti anywhere. Look at the sidewalk, look how clean that is. Look at the roads, perfectly painted. You got your double yellow lines, everything's going good. I mean, this is very, very nice. Got the traditional bank over here, which is a big old building for a bank. Now, on the other side of this bank is the Montgomery County Courthouse, and we'll be getting to that here shortly. In fact, we may end the video at the courthouse because The courthouse has some really nice grounds. This here is the Montgomery County Courthouse Annex. And I mean, as you can see, there's a good amount of traffic here on a Saturday morning. It's about 9 a.m. I stayed at the Red Roof in Winchester, and it's an older hotel, but it was very comfortable. So I believe that's the courthouse there. Got Whitaker Bank. And Mount Sterling, established in 1792. Founded by Hugh Forbes and Enoch Smith, Mount Sterling was originally called Little Mountain Town, before named after the city of Stirling, Scotland. Mount Sterling is rich in history. Our city was the site of several Civil War skirmishes, one of which resulted in the burning of the courthouse by Confederate forces in 1863. The city center was primarily constructed from 1880 to 1900. Many of those buildings still stand today. The county courthouse, completed in 1959, is the sixth courthouse to stand on this site. Very interesting. And there you got Old Glory. And here is WMST and WKYN. I saw a sheriff rolling by earlier. I'd be happy to make contact with him if he wants to know what I'm doing. Got the prom room here. Very cool. And Little's Jewelry, Elgin Watches. Diamonds and watches, nice. And I love this blue, or green, or cyan, or whatever color that is. It's real nice. You got a bridal shop here. Very nice. Bob's Music World, nice. Alvarez, wow, that's a good guitar right there. Alvarez, Gibson. I'll tell you, a Gibson acoustic will cost you a Martin. Those are really good too. You got your acoustic guitar there. You got your Stratocaster looking guitar there. Crate Custom, Fender. Robert Howard is the owner. Well, let me tell you something. Robert Howard, looks like you got yourself a fantastic store here in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. So if you're looking for a great axe, a good guitar, this looks like the place to be. They're closed, but look at that. I don't know if you guys can look at it, but they got some nice stuff in there. And they got comic books also. Bob's Music and Collectibles. So very cool. Here in Mount Sterling, Montgomery County, Kentucky. I love seeing stores like this. You got your Fender amps back there. Got a nice bass guitar. Very cool. Oopsie Daisies. A women and children's boutique. And it is nice. You got the little Christmas trees here. You got the benches. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. And then above, let's not forget above, you've got like maybe lofts possibly, or just really, really nice property here. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Isn't that cool? A little tree there. And they got this plaza. We're going to check out this plaza here in a second. I love this blue building here. This is really, really nice. What is this? Patrick and Layton, attorney at law. Patrick and Layton, you guys have a beautiful building. That blue is top notch. I love it. It's like, gosh, I wish I knew more colors. It's not, it's like a regular blue, but it looks almost kind of royal looking. I don't know. And I love these signs here, the signage. There is no place like home, Mount Sterling, Kentucky. I love that. And I really like this plaza here. And it looks like they got some lights going on here, so at night they probably light it all up. And you got plenty of benches. And this mural is really, really nice. This is a big downtown, guys. Got more Mount Sterling history here. And look at that. Look at that corner right there. A lot of stuff going on in that corner. There's more businesses down this street. So right here, we're on West Main. Okay. And this street down this way is North Maysville. So, and then you got some more stuff over here. We're probably gonna walk this way. And a lot of people say, well, you didn't walk that way, you didn't walk that way. Well, you know, I can only walk so many places, but what I like to tell folks is that I will be back, like the Terminator, I will be back. So, it doesn't mean, oh, you got City Hall right over there. It doesn't mean that if I miss something, I'm never coming back, guys. And I'm more than likely coming back to Mount Sterling because it's a really cool looking town. Look at that, look at the architecture. And I just love that. And look at this guy. This guy's driving real nice. It's actually a girl. And the cool thing is that a lot of times people recognize themselves on the video because, I mean, they don't expect to see a 6'4", 300-pound Louisvillian with a camera, you know. But this is very cool. Tattoo, SoundSkin Ink, body piercing. They got an Instagram. SoundSkinInc.com. I haven't seen many people put the .com in an Instagram name, but there's no reason you can't do it. They accept the period as a symbol on an Instagram address. That's pretty genius, actually, to use your .com as your Instagram and Facebook handle. It's a good job, very good job. Large selection of body jewelry, open at noon Monday to Saturday. Very cool. And then you got Trident Tank Technologies. Huh. I wonder what that is. It sounds like a mercenary outfit. Oh, and I can't forget James E. Davis and Associates, PSC, attorneys at law. And, you know, they're staying because they're, you know, engraved in stone. So that's pretty cool. As you guys know, I'm also an attorney. I'm an immigration attorney. And I always like to show the attorneys. Gotta show them love. It wouldn't be Kentucky without a noisy pickup truck. But that's a nice pickup truck, though. That's a nice one. And there, of course, is the Montgomery County Courthouse. And it looks absolutely beautiful. And we're going to cross over here in a little bit. But I want to walk down this street. We got Megan Williams, attorney at law. Here's City Hall. And City Hall looks really, really cool. I like this sign, work ready community. And you got children's services there, and this is the Adrian Arnold building. Children's services. Now get a load of this here. This is really cool. Look at that. So you got quite a ways down there. I'm not sure if this building's abandoned or not. This is the Redmond building. It's a beautiful building. But down here it looks like it's a little bit in neglect. And it's unfortunate. It's right across the street from the courthouse. So I'm guessing that it probably is abandoned because they've got like this tape hanging here. It's a beautiful building. Beautiful building, and yes, we are on the sidewalk, so we never leave the sidewalk, we never leave public property. I'm not a First Amendment auditor, but I know that private property is off limits, obviously. That's why it's private. Got Stephen E. Neal, attorney. Love the wood here, very cool. Another law office over here. People are like, why are there so many law offices by the courthouse? Well, because that's where lawyers work, is in the courthouse. You know, got this really cool bell here, and got to read what it's about. You got these like nice little bushes here. And you have a nice bench here, and I see this bench which is very inviting to the public. And there's another bench there. There's a stone bench there. There's the sheriff's office. So this bell, owned by James S. Gatewood. He lived from 1818 to 1892, handed down to James S. Gatewood and Mary Lawless Gatewood, who donated to Montgomery County Historical Society, February 1992. And it's a really, really nice looking bell. You got the brick back there. Like they said on that sign that we read a little while ago, a lot of these buildings have been around at least since 1890 to 1900, making them, you know, pretty old. And then of course there's some probably that go back to the 1800s, of course, too. Historic downtown Sterling. You got your parking, shopping, and dining. Idina Trail and Market. Maybe we'll check that out next time, if I'm saying that correctly. I-64. The library's this way and the hospital's that way. So, got the sheriff there driving around again. But that's what they're supposed to do. Over here we got Community Trust Bank. Also a pretty big building. We're on West High Street. And I think this is North Maysville, I believe. And there's the sheriff's entrance right there. And I'm gonna walk in front of the courthouse. You gotta be the district judge to park there. And got some interesting signs here. So we've seen this before. We've seen this in Taylorsville, Kentucky. 22 Kentucky courthouses were burned during Civil War, 19 in the last 15 months, 12 by Confederates, 8 by guerrillas, 2 by Union accident. Okay. December 2nd, 1863, CSA cavalry burned courthouse at Mount Sterling to stop its use as USA garrison. Clerk's records in arrear, saved circuit court records destroyed. Now, what I find to be very interesting, aside from the Union accident, which I think is, you know, history is written by the winners. I don't know how you can accidentally burn down a courthouse. But anyways, and then you've got the 12 by Confederates. But what I've always thought very interesting is the 8 by guerrillas. What does that mean? Like, who were the guerrillas? Were they pro-Confederate? Were they pro-Union? Were they, like, who were they? You know what I mean? So it's an interesting, you know, attribution of responsibility to a very vaguely defined group. You know what I mean? But there you can see the courthouse. And we'll go up the steps here in a bit. You got the Commonwealth flag, the POW flag, Old Glory. There's a really nice tree here. It's probably been here forever. And no skateboarding. Have not seen that sign before, but I can see where they wouldn't want skateboarders. And that's a beautiful courthouse right there. Absolutely beautiful. Over here you got the Montgomery County World War II Memorial. And this one over here is, what is this? The Great War. Now the Great War is what they used to call the First World War. So there wasn't anything great about it, but it was great in the sense that it was a huge war. It was the first war that used trench warfare. It was the first war that used tanks. It was the first war that used planes. It was the first war that used chemicals like gas. It was a pretty bad war. Pretty horrible, actually. And the United States tried to stay out of it as long as possible. We were even accused around the world of being isolationists, but eventually we were dragged into it, so it is what it is. So this is the Montgomery County War Memorial Courthouse, and it's got a clock on the top. It's not necessarily a very, I don't want to say it's not an impressive looking building. It is impressive, but it's impressive in its simplicity. That is 110% a compliment. It is. But the grounds, you know, it's not like the most expansive grounds, but it is elevated by some steps. It is in the center of town. But what I mean is it doesn't have like an enormous amount of pillars or weird, like, you know, things, but it is very impressive in that it is, I don't know how to explain it. Like the clock up here is not like super fancy, but it's perfectly fitting, if that makes sense. The lettering I love, the pillars I love. I mean, it's a really, really nice courthouse. It's a really, really nice courthouse. And I like that building too. I don't know why, because it's just like very simple also, but it's also very impressive in its simplicity. And I just love all of these buildings. It reminds me a little bit of Owenton, a little bit, but this is way, way bigger than Owenton. I mean, like way bigger than Owenton, I think. because I've counted at least like 7 or 8 different major streets and cross streets in this downtown area. So I think this is definitely bigger. So now we're going to come back down and show you a little bit more. I got some pictures of the courthouse. This is the city court library. This is very interesting. Battle of Mount Sterling. On March 22nd, 1863, about 300 Confederate cavalrymen under Colonel R.S. Kluge captured this city, taking 438 prisoners, 222 wagon loads of military stores, 500 mules, and 1,000 stand of arms. Confederate losses: 8 killed, 13 wounded. Union losses: 4 killed, 10 wounded. Very interesting. So the Confederacy wanted Kentucky. Kentucky had a Confederate shadow government as well. And I've been corrected on this. I have heard that Kentucky sent more troops to the south and the north. That is now in question, but they did send about 30,000, and it was a border state, so essentially it was neutral. It stayed with the Union, but it was neutral in terms of really picking a side. But the Confederacy wanted Kentucky badly, and there were a lot of skirmishes, there were a lot of battles, and it's interesting because you know, oftentimes we think of the Confederacy as states seceding from the Union, not necessarily the Confederacy trying to capture states or forcing states to secede, but you know, the population was split down the middle. So Tennessee even had, to give you a good example of how split the country was, Tennessee was a Confederate state, but for one county. There was one county of Tennessee that stayed with the Union. So, I mean, you know, even states were, and even a better example is Virginia, you know. That's how West Virginia came about, because West Virginia didn't want to leave the Union. So you had a piece of one state that simply didn't want to leave, and it became another state. So, yeah, very, very bad time in our history. But you got to know your history, because if you don't, what's to say it won't happen again? That's why I'm not really big on erasing our history. I don't want to get too into that, but I don't like monuments being taken down. I'm not a fan of that, to be honest with you. Now, it's different if it's you know, at a courthouse or something like that, or it's like, you know, like the Confederate flag on the Mississippi flag. I get that, but removing monuments to me is a little, I don't know. And then the other thing that I'm not a really big fan of, which I hope that nobody is a fan of, I've seen some Confederate cemeteries vandalized, and I hope, sincerely hope, that nobody is in favor of that. That is disgusting. But in any event, the right side won, and we hope never to see those days in this country ever again, where, you know, we have a divided house. As the old saying goes, a divided house will not stand. So, I'm done preaching. I'll be back next Sunday. But seriously, I hope you guys enjoyed my tour here of Mount Sterling, Montgomery County, Kentucky. Big shout out to the Montgomery County sheriffs. They drove around me a few times, but they didn't stop and ask me anything. But any police officers that see this video, if you ever want to stop me and ask me what I'm doing, I'll tell you. I'm not a First Amendment auditor. Nothing against the First Amendment auditors. Their job is not to tell you. It's to, as they say, as Amagansett Press says, if you don't flex your muscles, you lose them. Or excuse me, if you don't, well, the same, if you don't flex your rights, you lose them, like your muscles or whatever. Anyways, I totally butchered the saying, but you get what I mean. But I'd be happy to tell you what I'm doing, what my websites are. We can take a selfie if you want. And that's their job, after all, guys. Their job is to monitor, and anything out of the ordinary, like a 6'4" brawn handsome gentleman walking around with a camera, is out of the ordinary. So they need to know what I'm doing, and I'm happy to tell them. So we're here on West Main Street and Sycamore Street here in Mount Sterling, and once again, I hope you enjoyed. Please like and comment, and feel free to copy and paste the URL to this video on any of your social media feeds. I love when folks do that. And we're gonna finish it off here at the Vintage Studio Salon. That beautiful, beautiful cyan looking color. Their balcony. I love everything about that building. Take care, folks.